Jay from Red Letter Media described this type of movie the best in a recent video of him. An independent movie where someone wanders from person to person.
Seriously, there's no shame in that whatsoever.
Written and directed by Joshua Pukowski and Jordan Tataulsky, this film follows Hannah as she lives a content, hardworking life in the small town where she grew up. To her visiting older brother, she's just wasting her time. As their summer together winds down, Hannah gets what wasting time really means. Hey guys, Bryan Browny here, the Puerto Rican Anthony Fantano of film. Today we're going to be talking about Hannah Ha Ha, an independence release of the Slamdance 2022 circuit, of which I was lucky enough to participate as press. I'm late with some of the reviews, but some of them will be coming out in the near future. Hannah Ha Ha follows Hannah, played by Hannah Lee Thompson, as a content 26-year-old living in a small country town when her brother comes to visit and implores her to get a real job. Hannah Ha Ha has all of the fixings of a coming-of-age story without the sense of adventure and shenanigans that we typically associate with the genre, subverting the tropes of the genre in an interesting, albeit somewhat frustrating way. In that way, it feels like a perfect representation of the millennial struggle of whether to live a life you're content with or versus engaging with the exhausting engine of hustling capitalism culture and losing your happiness in order to achieve success as defined by everyone else around you. The audience is not given a particularly fun experience during the runtime of the movie. The pacing can be slow and tedious, and there are several scenes that are unnecessarily long. However, since most of these scenes happen during the second act, I do believe that they all have a purpose, to show how tedious, long, and miserable her life has become after listening to her brother's advice of finding a real job. While the film is charming, it lacks a crucial sense of structure. There's a very loose thread tying all of the scenes together in what could be considered a plot or a story. But the film felt more to me like a collection of character moments rather than a fully cohesive narrative, which makes it hard as an audience member to justify the incredibly slow, meandering pacing that the film inhabits through its second and third acts, since we're neither following the progression or the stagnation of a character. Despite my frustrations with the narrative element of the film, I quite enjoyed the performances of the actors, particularly Hannah Lee Thompson and Roger Mancusi. Their dynamic feels incredibly real and tangible. The way that they feed off of each other to establish this broker relationship is not only impressive, but also yields an authentic brother-sister relationship that's been damaged by distance and an aggressive difference in personality type. Visually, the film is shot very simply, mostly relying on natural light and guerrilla filmmaking. It adds a good amount of the indie charm that films like these benefit from. A significant portion of the runtime is spent in wide shots, which adds a layer of disconnect between the audience and the narrative, but a great use of close-ups in moments of conflict really balances that out. The one visual element that I find myself the most confused by is how soft a significant amount of the shots in the film looked. It happened often enough that it started to feel like a choice, but then we would cut to a shot that looked properly focused, and I started to wonder if the DP or the camera up had actually made a mistake and only realized in the edit, or if they were a little too aggressive with their mist filters. It was simply an odd thing to happen in what would otherwise be a fully competent and technically well-produced independent film. All that being said, Hannah Ha Ha is not a bad film. While its structure feels bare bones and its pacing feels unbearably slow at times, it does have some really great things to say about familiar relationships and the trauma and self-doubt that comes from them, as well as the millennial struggle to engage in capitalistic hustle culture, even as it destroys the small communities around you, and essentially forces you to sacrifice your happiness to survive and be even moderately successful. I give Hannah Ha Ha a 6 out of 10. If you're the type of audience that enjoys and appreciates this genre of independent movie, you will enjoy Hannah Ha Ha, and I will strongly recommend it to you. However, if loose narrative structure and slow dialogue scenes are not your thing, you will find yourself having a hard time with this film, even if you relate to the subject matter. If you get a chance to catch Hannah Ha Ha, please tell me what you think in the comments. All respects to all of the filmmakers that worked on this. It's hard making a movie, and no matter what I say about a film, I want to reiterate that I admire and respect all of you filmmakers. Thank you for watching. If you want to request a review of a film, please leave it in the comments below. I'll do my best to watch it and review it. And also, thank you so much. The channel has been blowing up over the last couple of days, and I am just very, very, very grateful for the support. Thank you all. I appreciate it, and I will see you on the next video.